Level 86, a sentimental gift. You needn't be an intellecty to feel the weight bearing down on Hermes. I fear this discussion may take a while, during which time... Etion, are you feeling unwell? Not me, Hermes, it's you. I won't go to the meeting, I'll stay with Zilly. Though I am to impose, may I leave Metion in your care again? I'm in your debt, if you'll excuse me. Can you help me with something? The meeting will make Hermes sad. I want to cheer him up with a flower. Hermes likes flowers the most of all creations in Elpis. Those creations are expected to be interesting or beautiful or strong, better in some way. Flowers are different. They're designed to suit our emotions, what we feel and want to convey. Hermes likes that. I can't make flowers, so I'll search for one, and I want you to search with me. Let's start here at the 12 Wonders. Etiana is now accompanying you. Keep her at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Metion behind by entering a different area by speaking with her and selecting the option to part ways. If you wish to have Metion accompany you again, return and speak with her at the original location. Vibrant purple flowers bigger than your hands adorn the tree. Ooh, so big and bright, I love them. They might be too bright. You have to think of the recipient. That's what Hermes said. Tall, slender tree rises before you. Crane your neck to look for flowers. No flowers. If there were apples, we could have covered them in syrup. Let's head outside next. Don't worry, we won't wander far. An array of beautiful flowers grow in the bed, their mix of colors forming a pattern. These would be better for Hermes, but they're hedged in. It means we shouldn't touch them. They're either under observation or poisonous. Any other place should be fine, though. Let's keep looking. Set on a tall, thin stalk, the oddly shaped flower is mesmerizing in its undulations. Oh, a conion, a flower that can move. Hermes wasn't looking, it shot seeds at him. Not a good gift, maybe. But you're good at spotting flowers. We'll find something soon. Where's the glowy thing? Here. Looking in the flowers, not at the street. Say nothing. You spy nothing promising nearby. At best, common-looking grasses with some few tiny flowers. Nothing around here. Ah, over there, something big, huge. Morble. Terrible stench reminiscent of sodden old boots pervades the air. Without a doubt, the culprit is the Morble-like creature before you. It's an Adonis. The things around its mouth look like petals, but the flowers are the orbs on its head. When Hermes inspected it, it swallowed him up. He didn't leave his room for days. What do you think? Would he like it? Probably not that good sort of memory. I'd rather not go near that thing. So not this one either. Finding a good flower, it's harder than I thought. Sorry, but could we search a little more? Maybe as far as the fields over there? I'll pick something after that, I promise. griffin-like thing right there. Lush green fields stretch out before you, ending where the sky begins. Oh, there's nothing. The shiny thing over there, what could it be? We run from this thing? How far would we have to go? Not far. They don't follow far in this area. Elpis flowers. Ooh, Elpis flowers. They're here too. Hermes likes and dislikes them at the same time. Like me, they're intellecties. Like me, they feel his pain and turn dark. That's only for Hermes, though. For others, they're always bright, white and bright. Truly, the flower was dark in your home? Then do you have it too, a dark emotion? I've known the pain and sorrow of loss, felt great fury and frustration. I've been plagued by doubt and anxiety. I dare say I have a few. You don't have to say it. I can feel it's something you want to hide. But won't you lend it to me, the darkness inside you? I want you to make the flower dark in front of Hermes. He has been in a dark place since before he created me. He needs to know that he isn't there alone, that others are sad too. Truly, you'll do it? Thank you, thank you. It means more to me than I can say. Can't wait to see how Hermes reacts. Let's go back and fetch him. Well, wonder. Seems they're still talking. Let's wait until they've finished.
Hermes!
Oh, you were waiting for me.
You've finished talking?
Yes, we've come to a decision. My thanks for keeping Meteon company. Emmett Selk and Hythlodaeus have already retired to their rooms. There is room for you too, if you would follow me.
Wait! I want to show you something first.
Elpis flowers?
Go on. You're not the only one, Hermes. Others feel sad too. You're not alone.
I see Meteion has shared much with you.
Mm-hmm.
May we talk a moment? I do not think it wrong that we live for the star, that we strive to make it a better place. And yet, in carrying out my duties here, there are times when I am plagued by doubt. Do you recall what Hythlodaeus said when we first spoke of my nomination? Death is the privilege of those who have fulfilled their purpose, a choice they embrace of their own free will, and when they depart, it is always beautiful. Perhaps it is, but only for man. Creations that he deems useless are discarded with nary a second thought. Some scarcely born into the world, afforded a handful of breaths before life and potential are abruptly extinguished. We make an effort to spare them the pain. They sense what awaits. Rage and anguish and cower and fear. And it is not beautiful. Yet no one cares. No one. So fixated are we upon the duty that we do not pause to question the method. Pain and suffering, confusion and despair, writ plain in the eyes of those poor creatures. Yet no one sees. We turn a blind eye and carry on in blissful ignorance. Not amiss. And always, always the blossoms shine pure and white. A contradiction so blatant I could scream, want to scream. How can you all accept this aberration? Then I wonder, am I the aberration for thinking thus? But now I know I'm not alone. Not the only one for whom the flowers weep. Owen asked what you thought as you kneeled beside the Elpis, or if you only did it at Meteion's insistence. Nevertheless, I thank you. To know that you too have experienced suffering is a comfort.
Glad I could be of service. Let's have no more brooding, eh? So I could tell you all about suffering.
Lest you misunderstand, I derive no pleasure from your pain. It's just the fact that you are still here in spite of your suffering gives me heart. The stars in the heavens. Know you what they are? Though it is too far to tell, each glittering light could be a world not unlike Aetheris. A world filled with life. So many stars, so many lives. For us, there may be no higher purpose than to live for our world. But what of the other living beings out there? What is it that gives their lives meaning? That drives them day after day after day? To pose that question to our undiscovered cousins, I created beings of dynamis, who can traverse the vast emptiness between the stars. Meteion and her sisters. Aye, sisters. She has a great many of them, and they have already departed on their journey. traveling to one star and then the next in search of life. As one might expect, exploration on such a grand scale is rife with difficulties, and thus far I've naught to show for it. But I have faith that we will make some manner of discovery ere long. And when we do, I should be glad to share our findings with you, in gratitude for your kindness. It's getting rather late. We had best find our beds. It would not do for both of us to be sleep-deprived on the morrow. Come, Meteion. Let us head back.
All right.
Level 86, a sentimental gift. Complete. Level 86, verdict and execution. Hermes appears solemn and sorrowful. An all too brief interlude, perhaps, but it is time I attend to my next task. As Emmett Selk and Hythlodaeus are aware, we reached a verdict regarding the fate of the Lycaons. 7 were created for observation, and all 7 must be unmade. Doros has followed the correct protocols, and as chief overseer, I can find no fault in his judgment. Lycaeos would disrupt the natural order, ravaging and consuming other species until they themselves starve and perish. They cannot be released into the wild, and they cannot be allowed to remain here in Elpis. I intend to petition the Bureau of the Architect to have the concept preserved as a restricted purpose hazardous life form. Hythlodaeus has pledged to support me in this endeavor. Yet whatever the Bureau decides, the existing Lycaeones have served their purpose. Doros has already isolated the creatures and is preparing to carry out the necessary measures. I will join him forthwith. It is my duty to witness the conclusion to this study. You are resolved, and we have but to accompany you. Of course, let us be off then. We return to the main aisle. It's going to teleport, but it looks like right there. Don't attack me, I'm riding one of you. Doros, are you hurt? What happened here? They caught me off guard. I've been bound with ethereal shackles, but they became frenzied, even more so than usual, and broke free. I was able to stop 4, the other 3 escaped. I see them. 2 have taken to the air above the 12 wonders. Glass is up ahead, lurking in the fields. You can easily handle that one. The pair in the sky you can leave to me. This is how it must end, and so be it. We'll render assistance to Emmett Selk, unneeded though it is. Meteion, you are to stay here with Doros. But Hermes... The Lycaones must be reverted. I would spare you their pain and mine. This is my burden, not yours, but if you are intent on helping, then please follow my lead. Appreciate your help and lament that it is necessary. There it is, our quarry, within striking distance at present, but if it feels threatened, it may well flee beyond our reach. Here's my plan. You will approach slowly in full view and draw the Lycaon's attention. Now I warn you, its abilities are as fiery as its temperament. Once it spots you, it will unleash orbs of flame. But fear not, by my measure, you are more than equal to the task. Withstand the onslaught for a few brief moments, and that will give me time to catch it unawares. Ready? Then let us begin. Go. Wrong thing. I won't take any damage.
Now. Oh. Forgive me. Please, forgive me. May you and your kin find peace. Wherever your souls may drift in the underworld, may you find tranquil seas. Be not forgotten, in concept endure, to reclaim form and one day live again. Serve not the star, or any purpose save your own. Live again, if that be your desire. Hate, if that be your want. We are worthy. But leave your suffering behind. Lay down your burdens, be born anew. Fly high, fly free.
Join the convocation, Hermes. You do not belong here.
Leave to replace another. To be replaced. It changes nothing. Tell me, do you think it right that we sacrifice all these lives for the sake of the star? And when the star has reached perfection, what then? If all who are satisfied choose to die, shall we all die in satisfaction? I do not know. Were I to take up the seat of Fandaniel, it would be tantamount to approving my predecessor's death. I do not know if it is right. And to be torn by such thoughts, I do not know if I am fit to represent mankind.
Hermes! Please don't be angry. It hurts so.
Forgive me. If you would still consider me in spite of everything, I beg some time to gather my thoughts. Meanwhile, Hythlodaeus, I fear I must trouble you to attend to the others.
'Tis no trouble at all. Take as long as you require.
And you, my friend, I pray you find that which you seek.
I expect we have some few matters to discuss. Shall we return to the 12 Wonders for a time?
Aye.
The other Lycaones have been taken care of. The incident is resolved and life in Elpis continues as normal, or ends as the case may be. Rationally speaking, I understand Hermes' argument. No matter how well deserved the rest, there is a pang of sadness when a colleague leaves us. Yet never has a departure caused me such grief as Hermes appears to feel. What must it be like to experience such torment? 86, verdict and execution complete. Level 87, Travelers at the Crossroads. Hythlodaeus wishes to discuss plans for the remainder of your visit. Where to now? If there is anywhere you would like to visit before we leave, I should be glad to show you the way. Hermes has not yet outright refused his position with the convocation, merely postponed the decision. As such, I may as well resume my assessment. If we cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. For the pragmatist, then allow me to remain your humble guide. What of you? Will you continue along with us? Wonderful. Our fellowship travels on unbroken. I say we explore another part of Elpis and see what new encounters there are to be had. If you would follow me, we will first head back towards Anagnorisis. From here, we follow the path northwards to Notonius. There we will find one of the Naeus which facilitate travel between the islands of Elpis. First-time travelers must be accompanied by someone with the requisite permission, which I have previously been granted. We only need use the device altogether once, and henceforth you will have leave to use it freely. Shall we? Here we are, Notoneus. This Naeus will take us to Calamelios Zephyros, the western island. That's it right there, looming large over us. Step this way and we can soon admire the view from above.
I present to you Calamelios Zephyros. Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poiton Oikos. Right then. Let's begin by... Well, well. An Arraius. How delightful.
And what, pray tell, is that?
Ah, that's a new species of shark. We approved the concept but a few days ago. Sharks are among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept. At first, they were largely orthodox, consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact. And then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight. Another, superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst. Concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end I couldn't deny their passion. And here we are.
Oh, is that her?
That was too close. Are you unharmed? Well now, if it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
Benar, that we should meet you here.
Mom!
As I mentioned earlier, the better part of the convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star. Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work. Benar is her name, and she is the previous Azem.
It has been a while, Hythlodaeus. You look well. Less so, Emmet Selk. I dare say the lines upon your brow have both deepened and doubled in number. A shame for one so young. You must make an effort to frown less often.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is she, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day. I should be glad to share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
Oh, you know I am. Now then, you are? I say, have you perchance come from the future? I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you. Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
A traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether.
It sounds rather like the blessing of light. Does it protect you from enthrallment by primals by any chance?
I see you are not ignorant to its presence. And while there are many protective spells, the one you bear is unmistakably mine.
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
What is it? Are you unable to speak of the matter?
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present.
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours. How very exciting! I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown, and there's naught more unknown than the future. Until a moment finally arrives, we cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge, so you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest. Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself. As a representative of the Convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation? I've been working here for some days now at an old friend's behest. If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Poiton Oikos. We were meant to meet. I am certain of it. Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly, and sent you unto myself in the past. It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to, and quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
Mom. My apologies, but before we move along, a colleague has tasked me with a matter which I'd rather not leave unresolved. It involves finding a certain concept engraved crystal and the quick-fingered Aureus which made off with it. Aureus, you say? I think we might have seen the culprit before being distracted by that business with the shark. Would you like us to follow its ethereal trail? It would, of course, lead us only to the Aureus. There is no guarantee that it hasn't dropped or stashed away the crystal you see. Please, even that much would be enormously helpful. While you are hunting down the thief, I can follow behind and scour the forest floor just in case. I ask you to join the search. I would appreciate another pair of eyes to cover the land to the west of here. Many thanks. There's a small bridge leading onto Boitnoikos. Let us meet up there once we've exhausted our efforts. Girl vagina. On the other side of this tree. Oh, this is a thing. There we go. Of course, as soon as I jump on the mount. Doo-doo. Our last searcher returns. I am afraid the Aureus no longer had the crystal, nor was I able to find it as I followed in its wake. Don't suppose you fared any better? Crystal, well done. Wonderful, now I can focus on your tale without that missing concept nagging at my mind. Have you always had a knack for finding things? Often been asked to do so. Traveling and searching go hand in hand. Oh, you too. Some of us seem destined to always be searching, for ourselves and for others. Long ago, when I held the seat of Azim, I was forever trekking back and forth across the star in search of answers to people's problems. Naturally, the need for such journeys had lessened considerably since I entrusted the position to my whimsical successor. Yet I am still eager to come running should an old acquaintance or new interest require my personal attention. That is what brings me to Elpis, in fact. Many times has my presence been requested, my opinion sought concerning the habitat of this or that creation. Agreeing to help locate that missing crystal was a minor distraction, which now promises to become a major revelation. How strange and wonderful it is, the way one thing leads to another. Wouldn't you agree? Level 87, Travelers at the Crossroads, complete. Level 87, a past not yet come to pass. Banat is in a cheerful mood. Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, 'tis time I return this stolen property. If you would go on ahead to my accommodation, I will join you as soon as I have attended to that task. Follow the path straight ahead to the building at the top of the slope. I have the entire place to myself so we can speak without fear of being disturbed or overheard. Like that, no, wait. this. Hit the right to Mom's house. Vanna's not actually Heidelin, right? Welcome to my temporary abode. Please make yourself at home while I put on some tea. Heidelin's like the primal based on her or whatever.
Ah, a wonderful aroma. I feel more relaxed already.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like. Now then, will you tell us your tale?
Calamity, Calamity called the final days has befallen the world. The world has been sundered, broken into shards. Mankind is being forced to flee the star. We'll just start at the top.
Why don't you start from the beginning?
Ah, Bria.
Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous. What of you, Vanna?
Not knowing the precise details of the first final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Heidelin? Circumstances change, of course, but it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No, there must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures. Then there is the Elpis flower, which I said would serve as a guide. That it's of import to your mission is plain. But your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance. But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
Might it not be simply thus? In the future, whence she came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet
Nope.
if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital and Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
True, true. I note also that Heidelin did not specify a point in time to which she must return. By this, it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
This is quite a puzzle, and we do not have all the pieces.
Hardly any. But we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight. Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Heidelin is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Listen to yourself. Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale? Well, I will not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity.
It's not unforeseen now.
I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal man. To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this zodiac in the highest esteem. Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory. Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable? Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me. But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren. You do not know me. I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again.
Emmett Selk, wait!
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them.
Dynamis is the key to all of this. Hermes and Mateon are somehow involved. Still trying to make sense of it all. I think Dynamis is the key to all of this.
Ah, yes. The energy distinct from ether. Though not my field, I have a basic understanding of Dynamis. And you say Hermes researched the phenomenon in the course of creating Meteon? Yes. I believe this warrants further investigation. With that settled, 'tis time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete, and you will have your answer. Now suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest. Have faith. If Emmet Selk is the man Azam described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
Shall we begin our investigations then? I am acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the chief overseer of Elpis. Of the man himself, I know only that which is common knowledge. So I suggest we fall back on the tried and true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more of Hermes and Mateon, and I have a good idea of where we might begin. See you, the woman standing in front of yonder building. Her name is Ismene. She is the one who made arrangements for my stay in Elpis, and from what I recall, she has held her position here for quite some time. Chances are she can provide us with some insights. Go and ask your questions. I will help with drawing out answers if need be, but I leave the choice of topic up to you. Questions for me? Well, I suppose I have no other pressing duties at the moment. The following event cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending duty finder registration. Begin asking questions. Yes. Greetings, Ismene. My friend here is desperately curious about Chief Hermes, and I was wondering if you might indulge her. Certainly, Mistress Fana. Anything to be of service. Damn it. What do you wish to know? What kind of person is Hermes? What are Hermes' interests? Well, I can only answer from my own experiences, but I would describe him as a quiet man, reserved, you might say, and occasionally somewhat poor with his choice of words. His reticent nature, however, does not prevent him from carrying out his duties as chief overseer. The man is a walking archive when it comes to life forms. He can discuss any species in incredible detail and is leading authority on concepts with the power of flight. Hope that answers your question. Was there anything else? How long has Meteon been here? Do you know of Meteon's abilities? No secret, she is highly unusual familiar. Of late, the chief often makes his rounds with her, like a mother hen raising her chick. Understand that she is able to read emotions and communicate directly with one's mind. Exactly how she was created with that talent, however, is a mystery to me. My apologies, I wish I could explain her nature in more depth, but I've not had the occasion to discuss it with Chief Hermes. Do you wish to know him better? Do you wish you knew him better? Do you trust him? Chief may not be the most gregarious individual, but he engages with us as is necessary for everyone to perform their duties. I wouldn't want to intrude upon his privacy for the sake of curiosity. So if you wish to learn more about Meteon, you could try speaking with Timaeus, another expert in the creation of flying concepts. He should be conducting his observations on the banks of the stream somewhere to the east. Oh, and unless you take particular joy in rambling discourse, I suggest you keep your questions concise. We shall keep that in mind. Thank you for your patience and your insight. Think nothing of it. If there is aught else you need during your stay, please do not hesitate to ask. Come, Zilly, I think we've taken enough of Ismene's time. Ismene is mean. Our investigation is off to a fine start, wouldn't you agree? From here, I propose that we split up. I shall continue making inquiries with the resident observers. If you could track down the colleague Ismene mentioned. Given how you steered that previous conversation, just plain you need no assistance from me. All I ask is that you watch your footing around the stream. We can meet back here once you finish speaking with this Timaeus. Oh, yes. Yes, I am Timaeus, but please keep your voice down. You'll startle the birds. Following event cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending duty finder registration. And asking questions, yes. So, what is it you wish to speak about? Is it true you're an expert on flying creations? What do you think of Chief Hermes' flying creations? Chief Hermes' work, a worthy subject indeed. Oh, I should ask the other one, more concise. Those beings which soar through the clouds, majestic and graceful, are ever of favorite creators. Even now, with so many varieties in existence, the flood of newly imagined concepts continues unabated. What sets the Chief's creations apart, however, is how they benefit from his boundless knowledge of the celestial realm. Birds that climb so high that they disappear from view, others which traverse the boundless sky in moments, and all without riding the currents. Know of none save he who can conceive of such marvels. Even we who prize elegance of form above all else are dumbfounded by his genius. Why not mimic his process? Meteon, too, is a marvel, then? My opinion on that matter would be superficial at best. Despite my admiration for Meteon as a concept, I have never delved too deeply into the inner workings of her nature. I know that she has a gift for communicating via emotions, but otherwise her abilities are a mystery to me. Chief Hermes should choose to submit Meteon's concept to the Bureau of Architect, then will the design be registered for public scrutiny? Analyzing a colleague's creation before that step is frowned upon, to say the least. Of course, if he came to me, a fellow artisan, looking for advice, that would be an entirely different story. You know of Dynamis and Enteleki. I could tell you more of Meteon's nature if you like. Dynamis and Entelekis? Those terms do sound vaguely familiar. Was there not a flower made here in Elpis which exhibited properties of one or the other? It must have been centuries since I last heard anyone speak of such things. Has there been a resurgence in interest? Then why bring up the subject? I'm flattered that you sought my insight, but I cannot afford to neglect my duties for the sake of idle chatter. Now, I really must return to my observations. Surely you have your own tasks to attend to. Back already? That was quick work. You were obviously clever enough to head off any of that rambling, as Mina mentioned. So have you any new findings to share? I see, even an expert in the field had little understanding of Meteon's capabilities, let alone an awareness of Dynamis. Questions resulted in much the same answers. Hermes' colleagues view Meteon as his personal project and can provide no details beyond those which you just told me. It leads me to believe that the only person with any significant knowledge of Dynamis is Hermes himself. Yes, we've made some progress here, but more information is needed if we are to reach any definitive conclusions. Level 87, a past not yet come to pass.